you would have this picture of yourself.
With Sam Bankman-Fried.
You would have had this picture of yourself
That infamous photo.
with Sam Bankman-Fried. And I just want to know, like, how did you get to meet Sam Bankman-Fried? Is crypto a scam?
Oh boy, that's a very loaded question, right? Because you can't say yes and you can't necessarily say no. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. Nothing is too big to fail.
Can I get rich quick off of crypto? Welcome to the first episode of the CryptoNoobz podcast, where we share beginner-friendly information on cryptocurrency, what it's doing, and how it's affecting our world. I am your host, Nelsonrecardo.x, and I'm going to be here to help you on this digital journey.
My name is Lamont Astwood, aka CryptoLambo. I'm your co-host on the CryptoNoobz podcast, and I'm here to guide you and walk with you and make this journey learning about cryptocurrency as fun and informative as possible.
Absolutely, Lambo. We're passionate about cryptocurrency and we want to help you to get inside of it just to learn about what's going on inside of this world. We're going to be offering you no jargon, straight to the point explanations.
Yeah, that way we're going to teach you about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, crypto wallets, decentralization, everything you need to know about in crypto to make well-informed decisions and make the most of your money and your time in this space.
So that brings us to our first question. Lamont, what is cryptocurrency?
Well, a lot of people will have a lot of different definitions on what is cryptocurrency, but generally you could describe cryptocurrency as digital money. Like a lot of investors, a lot of people in the space, they describe Bitcoin, which is the largest and the most well-known cryptocurrency. They describe it as digital gold. So you could think of cryptocurrency in itself as a digital form of money, stepping away from the fiat currency, which is, the US dollar, the Bahamian dollar, and, government issued cryptocurrency. Government issued currencies. So cryptocurrency is kind of like a breakaway in a digital format of that.
All right. So one of the things that I want to know is like, why should people even care about cryptocurrencies?
That's a good question. The way how crypto has been going the last few years, it's becoming a way where it's becoming an alternative to regular fiat currencies. So right now the space is growing. It's still in a lot of people might not believe this, but it's still in its infancy at this stage. You still have a lot of people who still don't know what Bitcoin is. So it's growing now, but a lot of people actually should get to know at least what it is. And I'm not saying that they should invest or they should buy it, but they should at least get to know what it is because essentially what it is, it's something that allows you to step away from your fiat currency. So it gives you a lot of autonomy over your own funds once you use it in the correct way. So whereas with fiat currencies, you're kind of controlled by the banks and the government. Cryptocurrencies allow you to have a little bit more control over your money and the way you transfer money and the way you even conduct business if you're into business. But it is something that I think everyone should at least learn about, even if you're not gonna get into the space itself.
So from an investment standpoint, I see that I would have read somewhere that cryptocurrency is now larger than silver in terms of investment. I also would have learned that it is now something that's called a risk on, risk off asset, meaning that whether or not it's high or it's low, people are now buying. And I think that it's so interesting, right? Because it also plays into this whole thing with inflation. I'm seeing how inside America their dollar is inflating. I see inside of Africa the naira. I see that that's inflating. And I see like there's a lot of people kind of running to Bitcoin. Like there's an increased interest in Bitcoin because there are companies now trying to get inside of it so that they could kind of hedge against inflation.
Yeah, pretty much what's happening, it's about demand and supply. So that's really like where you see the value of Bitcoin exceeding the value of silver. It's really about demand and supply. So right now you have a lot of people who are buying it more because they see the price go up. So it's almost like a herding mentality. Like if you notice some of the investors, they'll say, all right, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. But usually whenever you see a price of a crypto or any asset goes up, you have a lot of people who are trying to buy in, thus pushing the price up more. So
Hmm.
that goes into further bolstering Bitcoin itself. But also, it has technology behind it. So that's one of the real fundamental values behind Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. Now, as far as like inflation hedging against that, you got to understand that when people invest in cryptocurrencies, ultimately they're trying to find a way to preserve or increase the value of their money. So if they have it in a bank and with doing nothing, essentially fees and inflation is eating away at your money. But if they find Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other asset, crypto asset they can invest in, which could outpace the rate of inflation. That means that even though it'll basically ensure that their money has grown where it doesn't deplete over time. So they're just trying to find an investment asset to outpace the deterioration of the value of their money. And the way how crypto is set up, it's set up a way where people who don't have access to traditional investments have more so ready access to cryptocurrency. So they might not have access to stocks and bond investments, because there is a lot of red tape around those things for good reason.
Hmm.
So a lot of people might find that way is easier to put $100 on Binance or another exchange to buy some cryptocurrency. That way I could find a nice whatever coin, meme coin, Pepe or whatever,
Uh-huh.
buy that shoots up 100%. That beats any inflation, but it's a huge risk with it. But that's a lot of the mindset that goes behind investing in crypto.
So one of the things you would have talked about how I could take about $100 and I could just put it inside of one of these coins, and when I put it inside these coins, the money goes up, right? So I've actually had an experience where I would have put like what $16 on a coin, and inside like the couple hours, I
Yeah.
saw that coin going from $16 to like $64,
Yeah.
right? And I was shocked. I was shocked by the amount of money that I made, right? So now that brings me to my next question, right? Can I get rich quick off of crypto?
Um, you could get rich off crypto quick, but you could
Uh-huh.
go broke quicker off crypto. Like cryptocurrency is one of those things I always say when you compare cryptocurrency and fiat currency, crypto or like traditional investing in general, I
Uh-huh.
always say investing in crypto is like it exasperates your results. It accelerates your results. So
Uh-huh.
you could find yourself making significantly more money or you could find yourself losing significantly more money. Is the basis of risk reward. Higher risk, higher reward. So it's like a trade off. Now
Hmm.
you have to understand your risk tolerance and your ability to take risk to understand that. So a lot of people when they see like they hear stories about this guy put $100 in what Dogecoin. This guy put $100 into Wolf Coin, Cat Coin, whatever coin, right? Because trust me,
Yeah.
I was just winging it, but I'm sure all of those coins exist. All of those coins I just listed, all of them exist. I guarantee, I will bet
That's it.
my life savings, all of those coins exist somewhere. Um, and you hear stories about people turning like $100 into 10,000, into $100,000, and it's like that's a one-off case. That doesn't happen a lot.
Hmm.
And a lot of people don't realize like you hear about those stories because it doesn't happen a lot, but
Uh-huh.
everyone thinks, "Oh, I'm the lucky one. That could be me," and is like it doesn't necessarily work like that. But that's how it is. You just gotta understand what you're getting into with crypto.
All right, all right, all right. I mean, I'm hoping that I can be one of the lucky ones to throw $100
Don't we
in
all? Don't we
and
all?
I get $1 million back, you
Yeah,
know.
don't we
You
all?
know?
Don't we all? Don't we all?
So I mean, so that brings me to this, right? Um, like especially inside the Bahamas, like, we play numbers, we gamble, all that good
Yeah,
stuff, right?
too
Um,
much.
a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But say for the person who might say play numbers or something like that, would crypto be at least a smarter move than probably playing that? Like not to say that you can't do that, but I mean like how I guess I'm asking for investment advice.
I mean, if you're talking about probabilities, almost anything's more profitable than playing numbers.
Uh-huh.
Like sports gambling is more profitable than playing numbers because at least you could look and see how an athlete is performing. Like, come on, like, what do you use to pick numbers? Like, what? You just wake up, you had a dream? Like, that's what you're basing on, a dream? All
I
right,
had a
then.
dream for 4444, man.
Man, I didn't dream. I dream I win the lottery one time, $700 million, and I had to go to work the next day when I wake up. How you think I felt? But
Uh,
um, I wouldn't say. See, the thing is, I don't want to tell people to invest in cryptocurrency because that's like giving financial advice.
mhm,
Um, but I could tell you it can definitely be more profitable than buying numbers because at least with cryptocurrency, I always say you have like 20,000, 30,000 cryptocurrencies out there, but you can find 30 cryptocurrencies which would make sense.
mhm,
And you could find, let's say if you take $300, you put $10 in each one of those. Even if one fails, if you have quality cryptos and I mean, I can probably give you a list of those.
mhm,
I guarantee you all of them will not fail. They're not going to lose all your money. Your
mhm.
money might go down a little bit, like,
Yeah,
but they're not
but
gonna.
some gonna come up.
Yeah, something's gonna come up. Now, I could hit you with 30 numbers to play. I'm not sure if any one of them is gonna hit for anything. See, so I would definitely say if you if you had to pick between playing numbers and investing in cryptocurrency, I would say cryptocurrency is the even in a probability statistic method, it's more profitable.
All right. And to our viewers, we're going to be taking a short break, a short intermission. So we'll get right back to you after these messages. For our promotion today, we have two life-changing books. We have Principles of Life and we have There Shall Be a Performance. These two life-changing books are written by the author, Pastor Valeria Strong. I would say to you guys, try to get one of these books. It's going to help you to change your life and help you to renew that relationship with God. This is especially for the women that is trying to get closer to God and is seeking that motivation in her life. You could find these books on Amazon. Get yours today. So we are back with our conversation about cryptocurrency with Lamont Astwood. So Lamont, the next question that I have for you is, and this is going to be a big one, especially for our viewers, right? Is crypto a scam?
Oh boy, that's a very loaded question, right? Because you can't say yes and you can't necessarily say no.
Uh,
The concept of cryptocurrency, I would say, is not a scam, but the problem of why it's so associated with scams is there's a very low barrier of entry.
I would just like to say, because I'm going to be honest, right? So I have been scammed in crypto. In my earlier days, I actually got scammed. And I feel like at this point, it's like a rite of passage, you
Yeah,
know?
I've been scammed too. I've been scammed too. Most of the people who I know who are big in crypto, like most of the top leaders in the space, have been
Mm,
scammed, and a lot of that comes with like being a first mover in any industry.
mm,
It's kind of like I don't want to say it's a rite of passage, but it's kind of like it comes with the punches, you know. Like if you enter a sport, you're gonna get a few nicks here and there, but that's part of playing the game.
mhm,
And the thing is, you want to get to the point where the people who are coming behind you already have the knowledge that you would have already gained from your experience, so they know to avoid those traps and pitfalls. So the reason why you see like crypto is associated with a lot of scams is I mentioned earlier, you have like 20, 30,000 cryptos.
mhm.
You think all of those cryptos went through a verification or authentication process? Absolutely not. You know, a lot of those guys, you know, they draft up one white paper or steal a white paper from another company, change the name. No one's going
Mm.
to read it anyway. So you have people who are just going to go and buy the crypto because they see some bot pushing it and say, hey, Wolfcoin is pumping. So you need to go buy Wolfcoin. Or my favorite celebrity wore a Wolfcoin shirt. So I'm just going to buy it. Even though
Mhm.
I don't even know what it's about, who's behind the project or nothing like that. So the reason why you see that with crypto versus a lot of traditional like stocks and bond investments is because for those investments, for the traditional investments to get listed on a lot of exchanges, they have to go through like the SEC. They have to go through an authentication verification process.
Mhm.
They need stuff like the like the people they need, like key people, they need information on them to ensure that they're in place, stuff like that. Whereas with cryptocurrency, you could put a crypto on any decentralized exchange for sale, and even some centralized exchanges, because some centralized exchanges don't really do their due diligence when they're listing cryptocurrencies. So it makes it much easier for scams to exist in that space. Makes it much easier for crypto scams and rug pulls to exist. So like when you and a bunch of people get hyped up and buy into a project, okay, the project has $5 million market cap. You check in the next day, everything's gone because the guys just ran off with the money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically why you see crypto is so associated with scams. But I tell people 99% of it is either scams or they're going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the 1% that is, the cream will rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that 1% where they're actually doing the work what they say they're going to do. They're actually building partnerships. They're actually the technology what they say they're doing, and they're actually backing. So the issue for most investors, and especially like long-term investors and holders, is they're trying to find those projects that actually are authentic. All right. And another piece of advice I would actually give is when you're first getting started, especially when investing in crypto, is keep it simple. And also, I don't want to say just follow the crowd, but you want to make sure that you're using reputable exchanges. So any exchange that seems a little wonky or stuff like that, as Beam is it like to say, any juck exchange, beware of that. So once again, not financial advice, but I would say stick to exchanges such as Binance, probably Gate.io, KuCoin. And this is not a plug for them. This is
Mm-hmm.
not a plug. This is
This
not
is
an
not.
endorsement.
Mm-mm.
Not an endorsement, right? Because anything could happen to any exchange.
Mm-hmm.
I would say also stick to the basics. You don't have to invest in some X coin that promises 1,000%. Start off with Bitcoin, move into some Ethereum, move into some Solana, stuff like that, that actually have use cases.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are cryptos that actually have use cases. Nothing is too big to fail, but these are cryptos that actually have a foundation to stand on.
They're a little bit more stable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
So I would say start off with those. Then as you get more comfortable, you start to sprinkle a little bit more money into other
Add
altcoins and all that.
add more risk.
Yeah, so you go a little bit more speculative.
Uh-huh.
And that brings me to the last point about this. Only invest what you can afford to lose.
Oh man.
Yeah, do not put your rent money on Binance to try flip it. You know, like it doesn't work like that. Don't do that. Don't
Don't
do that.
sell my car and just go and
No,
throw it all.
no, no, no. Don't listen to these bots online. Don't do that. That isn't a wise decision. Only invest what you could afford to lose. If you get paid X amount, take a little bit of that, and just put it in some crypto.
Mm. All right, all right. So I know, you know, we can't talk about crypto without talking about, the very famous FTX kind of situation.
Yeah.
So I know that you would have this picture of yourself.
With Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah,
You would have had this picture of yourself
that infamous photo.
with Sam Bankman-Fried. And I just want to know, like, how did you get to meet Sam Bankman-Fried?
All right. So I was on Twitter and they had like this thing where we could apply to attend crypto bombs because crypto bombs tickets is costing like $3,500, $5,000 a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So I just applied. So they had to go through like a vetting process. I applied through Solana Hacker House. So they
Mm-hmm.
had to do like a vetting process. So I guess they went on my page, they saw what I was about, and I got an email saying I've been chosen to go. So
Mm.
I attended, and I attended like the first few days before the actual Crypto Bombs event began. And I just saw Sam walking through Bahamas, and I was like, hey, Sam. He's like, hey. So I was like, I shook his hand, talked to him for a bit. Then I was like, all right, can we take a photo? He's like, sure, man, no problem. So we just took the photo.
Mm-hmm.
But that event was actually pretty interesting. Like I learned a lot during that event. I met some people who I still in contact to this day. We still talk back and forth. and it was a wonderful time. A lot of parties.
A lot of parties,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah, a lot of parties. But it also created a lot of connections. But at that time, the if you'd have tell me what was going to happen during that time, I would have never believed you. But
I don't think
yeah,
anyone was.
I don't think a lot of people saw that coming, to be
Yeah.
honest. But
Sam was the golden boy of crypto. Like
oh yeah, definitely,
no one
definitely,
really expected
definitely.
the end result that would have happened. But now that incident, I would want your opinion on how that incident affected Bahamians because ever since that whole crash, definitely crypto as a whole took a huge blow.
Yeah,
Um, Bitcoin, the biggest crypto of them all, hit like around like $16,000. A lot of people were saying that crypto was about to fail.
yeah.
What I want to know is, right, and especially Bahamians, it left a huge bad taste in the
Yeah.
mouths of Bahamians. What do you think, like, how do you think it affected crypto in the Bahamas?
Well, a lot of those people who said it was going to fail, they actually did have legs to stand on. I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, you're wrong now because we're up 70,000." Like
We
during
up?
the time, yeah, we're up. No, I because at that time, a lot of those people had a point.
Mm,
You know, like FTX was one of the biggest crypto companies around. Sam was one of the most powerful people in crypto.
mm,
So when that collapse happened, what it did was you saw the financial aspect where people is pulling money out now, the market is going down, people are just completely whitewashing their hands with crypto. But then you also saw where people who weren't even in it
mm,
now was looking at it like, oh yeah, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
mm,
I'm not touching this with other people's money. I'm not touching this at all. And you you can't really like look. I mean, can't really blame them because a lot of them were actually trying to to preserve what they already have. A lot of them, they have reputational risk, so like a lot of the institutions and all that, they was kind of like moving away from crypto after that because they have reputational risk on the line.
mm,
And with a lot of Bahamians, where it became the point that happened at the point where they was just starting to open up to it.
mm,
So now with that happening is like now withdrawal from it is like, oh no, no, no. I had I had a lot of them had mixed feelings and speculations about it
mm.
before the collapse. And so the collapse actually like reinforced their initial thought process on it. So to get those people to actually open up to it now is almost going to take 10 times as much work.
Mm.
You see? So it isn't their fault. It's just that was just the circumstances that led to it. But the market is starting to see like a rebound now.
So tell us then, how can we avoid getting scammed in crypto?
Yeah, that's a very important question. And I think we could actually break that down very well because we already have experience with scams. Number one is you want to do your research on the project. You want to make sure that they have a visible team. You want to make sure that you know who's the CEO, you know who's the people behind it. And the way our AI works now, these people using just fake images, fake AI images. So you want to make sure these people have a real background. You
Mm,
go online, you find out who they are, if they're connected to any other scams. Uh, these are just some of the things that people don't take into consideration when they're buying a project. They don't know who's behind the project. You go on the page, you see everything except a team tab. You don't see nothing on the team and who's registering and all that. Another way is you could keep your expectations limited. That
mm,
means that if you see a project guarantees a return,
mm.
that's a red flag.
Listen, I just run from that.
Yeah, because with any investment, they're not supposed to guarantee a return because anything can happen. Even with
Hmm.
something as safe as bonds, anything can happen. So if you see they're guaranteeing a return, that's a huge red flag. And there are other things you need to look out for.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to learn more about cryptocurrency, tune in again to our next show. And you can always follow us at CryptoNoobz, EDU on Instagram or Twitter. Noob spelled with a Z. Thank you.